Hello and welcome again to Off the Record podcast. This is episode 3. My name is Rejoice Nathan and I am your host. Oh my god, it's been a while. And life has been lifing. And honestly, I miss doing this. Well, anyway, lately I've been having a lot of conversations in my head and I thought to share this one. Because why not? So it all started from a post I saw on Instagram that said you can restart your life at any time, at any age. That got me thinking really, because I think I started from thinking about the act of restarting and how it feels, the weight of restarting. And then it brought me to the lane of how much it can feel like all your past efforts are a waste, and how much we as human beings do not like wasted efforts. How it's, if care is not taken, might make you feel like a failure because apparently everything you've done over the years, over the months, or over however long is a total waste. Well, I'm not even here to talk about restarting your life. But you see, in this life that we are living, where decision making is a constant thing, like we constantly have to make decisions on a daily basis about what to eat, what to wear, where to go, what to say, how to say it, what to do, what not to do. I bet you guys, there'll be points where you really have to change your mind. If not compulsorily, or at least impulsively. I don't even know if that makes sense. But I think, again, a lot of people are made to feel guilty for changing their mind. So this is two things: changing your mind, and at what point you change your mind. And this single thing has kept a lot of people stuck in something that is not working for a long time, because of what people would say, because of what it would look like, because of what your mind would tell you, because of how your conscience will beat you. You don't just want to change your mind, but at that particular point in time, as at that stage, you feel like changing your mind is not even an option. Anyway, personally, I find it really difficult though, especially when I've invested a lot in something. But then again, I love myself because you know me. I'm this person that can wake up any day and at the snap of a finger, I am totally off it. But sometimes I even have to pray for that courage or that anointing to be bestowed on me. Oh my god. Changing of mind thoughts could also be likened to, let's say, hatching yourself in the acts. Talking about maybe cases where you're already doing something that you've warned yourself that, or you've told and taught yourself that no, we can't be doing this way. You would have to change and do this other way. And then you catch yourself going in the wrong direction and then you redirect. So now, another word for changing your mind is redirection. And I think if you begin to see change of mind as a redirection instead of as a restart, I think it's more healthy, because then it gives us room to grow, to see ourselves as doing better other than as feeling like a failure, right? Because redirection is different from restart. I don't even know if I'm saying this to make myself feel a little bit better, but it takes a lot of strength, a lot of courage to realize that no, this is not working, and then retrace your steps or take a pause and then do something else. No one is talking about the courage it takes to say no. See that two-letter words? They are so strong and powerful that it has the fear of not saying it, has kept people in a box, in a position where they are not supposed to be, in a position where they are supposed to have broken and exceeded to now. I think there should be a system that rewards or encourages people who say no. Another thought of mine is this: if I have a child, one of the lessons I'm going to teach my child is how to say no. And not just how to say no, for me as a parent, to how to receive no. Right? Because there'll be times in your life where yes would not always be the answer. So another thing here is changing mind, restarting, redirecting, saying no. They are all in the same box. And they are all necessary tools of life. But somehow they seem a little bit off. Somehow they seem a little bit awkward. Somehow they seem a little bit difficult. And I know why. It is because of our minds. Our minds play games with us a lot. And sometimes we catch it. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes I catch my mind playing games with me. Sometimes I don't. Right? But I hope to grow to the point where I'm able to catch my mind trying to play games with me every time. And to also understand that redirecting, restarting, changing my mind, saying no is necessary and almost as the same as the opposite of it. It's an everyday, it's decision making, it's choice, it's having an option. Right now, again, one big question that has been troubling me is, at what point do we know that it's time to say no or to say yes? Because life can be confusing, decision making can be too tedious, can be too disturbing, especially certain decisions that has potential of either making or destroying your life. Certain big life-changing decisions, right? At what point do we know when to say yes, what to say, what not to say? I think at this point I'm beginning to consider bringing in guests who are ready and open to go a little bit off the record with us, so we can rub minds together and get people's opinion. I'll start planning and working towards that. So moving on. That question is still left unanswered because after asking myself the question, I end up praying for the spirit of discernment, because really sometimes I don't know. Sometimes it's so confusing. The both options always really look when they say, when you have identical twins, you don't know who is who, what is what. You don't even know what is at the back of which one. You don't know what is following yes, you don't know what is following no. Right? And then it's usually only courage or the the act of taking risk that comes into play there, when you're what's the worst that can happen? If I perish, I perish. And then you pick an answer, or do many more. It depends, right? It depends. But then this brings me to addressing the term flexibility in terms of living life. A lot of people are principled, love it. I love being principled. It saves you a lot of shit. It guides you. Most of the time, it tells you, it helps you know what you should and what you should not do. Well, this life is very tricky. It's very corny. You meet yourself or you see situations where life is not life the way you thought it would be. Right? You're pushed into a corner, you're pushed into a box where you just have to do something out of your principles, your box of principles. Right? I'm not talking about negative things. I'm not talking about doing wrong things. I'm not talking about extremely hurting people, doing things that are wrong. I'm talking about the little act of trying to cover up for a loved one, that maybe in your book of principles you have said that lying is a no. Oh my god. So you guys, let me deviate a little bit. When I was in Sunday school back in the days, why am I feeling judged right now? When I was in Sunday school back in the days, a question came up. So we talked about, we discussed a particular story about when Abraham lied about Sarah being his sister. I'm sorry if there's a Muslim listening, but this is the story I can relate to right now. Abraham lied about Sarah being his sister. The lie wasn't the topic of discussion. We were talking about other things, but we eventually got to read about it while discussing during Sunday school. So someone asked the question about lying being a sin, and how Abraham, the father of all nations, lied, and it was not accounted to him as a sin in the Bible. I still remember the banter on that particular day, and our Sunday school teacher answered it with a lot of wisdom that I loved. I really can't remember word for word what he said, but I know that he mentioned applying wisdom. Right, I know he mentioned applying wisdom, and then he gave reference to the story of when soldiers were sent to capture Elisha. Right, I think there was a war between Israel and Syria. Can't really remember, but soldiers were sent to capture Elisha. Elisha noticed them from afar and prayed to God to strike them with blindness. These soldiers arrived, and then the same Elisha that they came to look for, came down and told them, like, oh, sorry, this is not where you're going to. Let me help lead you to where you're going to. Elisha led them into Samaria, I guess. He led them into the town and then prayed to God to restore their sight. The people of Samaria wanted to capture them, kill them, and all of that. They were captured in if it's in today's slang now, whether they would say captured, caught in 4K. They were captured, but on the contrary, Elisha ordered the kings and the people there not to kill them, but rather to feed them, give them water, clothe them, or whatever, shall take care of them and send them back to where they are coming from. So that single act, right, made the war to cease between, I think, Syria and Israel, and the people of Israel. That also the school teacher mentioned how Elisha lied. He used his wisdom in his words. Oh my god, this is very tricky. This is very tricky. So Elisha used his wisdom and saved himself and his people, right? Saved the people of Israel and stopped the war. So, well, I don't want to go into that. I'm not a preacher. But then again, I was talking about principles and how in life, as we grow older and get exposed to life and things and experiences, there's likelihood of you going a little bit out of your principles. Me, I call it being flexible. You don't have to always be rigid. If you even go to the extreme point, you talk about people who get married and then they experience domestic violence or abuse in any way, and because the Bible forbids divorce, or maybe church forbids divorce, or maybe in their own principle, in their own box and book of principle, they forbid divorce, they forbid saying no, they forbid living a home and staying single. They stay there, right? They swallow whatever it is instead of turning back and redirecting or retracing or restarting again. Fear of restarting will make you die somewhere you're supposed to learn from. Fear of restarting can make you lose more than you are even supposed to have lost, because most of the time when we move in the wrong direction, right, and then we want to restart or redirect, it's usually not even like I don't like calling it restarting, because it's not totally restarting. You already built experiences, skills, you already have like a knowledge of it. So for someone who repeated a class, if maybe you were in JS1 and then you repeat a class, except I don't even know if I should say you're so dull, however way bad as it bad may you dull, by the time the teachers start to reteach the topics and subjects they taught you while you were in JS1 the previous year, it would be familiar to you. You wouldn't totally be lost. It would be familiar to you, however way you want to put it. It would be familiar to you. So to me, right, flexibility is a thing, especially in this adulthood. But I'm not even talking about maybe going the extreme part of, how do I put this now to make sense? Going the extreme part of going out of who you are, losing yourself in the act of, trying to conform to the phase that you are in life, or where life has, somehow put you per se. I'm not even talking about that extreme length. There are some core principles and guidelines of life that no matter what, we are holding on to. For instance, our faith, right? For instance, our values, the things that are, very important, the non-negotiables in our life. There are non-negotiables, and then there are things that, too bad, we can, right? Especially when it has to do with making or destroying your life. Flexibility is an option. It's okay to change your mind mid-thought. It's okay to change your mind in the middle of even saying yes. Catch yourself. Yeah. No. I enjoyed having this conversation, guys. I really enjoyed it. I hope to see you on the next episode. I don't know what we're going to talk about, but I'll let you know if it's going to be a solo or I'm going to bring in a guest. However way, look forward to it. Catch you next time. I'm still your host, Rejoice Nathan. Don't touch that. Bye.